Being a creative is not easy. In this day and age, there are so many different directions to take your creativity when it comes to photography and filmmaking. From gear to music to framing to so much more, sometimes it can seem like there's too many choices. So many that deciding how to use your creativity can be a little overwhelming, or what I like to call paralysis by analysis. And that, guys, brings us to the topic of today's video, creative block. Now, if you are any sort of creator, I guarantee that you've felt it. I know I have. It can last for a day, a week, months even sometimes, and that can be debilitating. Being creative can be hard. It's scary. You're putting yourself out there, you're being vulnerable, especially online. It can be tough. So I want to share with you guys a few tips that have helped me overcome creative block, and hopefully they can help you too. Tip number 1 is keep it simple. Now, this is definitely easier said than done. I don't even know how many times I've come up with an idea for a video or a photo that just gets me so excited. The type of idea where you can see it perfectly in your head, and all you have to do now is make it real. The question now becomes, how do I achieve what's in my head? And this is where we can get into trouble. You start to think, what kind of shots can I use? What gear should I use? What about music? What about the script? Does this even make sense? Will people like it? This can go on, and you wind up getting stuck in a cycle of second guessing and self-doubt, and you don't create anything at all. Yes, some of those questions are good questions, but you can't let them consume your time and effort and just not create anything because of it. I try to keep things simple by literally taking my camera out of the bag. And I know what you're thinking. It sounds silly, it sounds so easy, but hear me out. Go take your camera, grab one lens, and just go out and shoot anything. And I mean anything. Take some photos, shoot some video. It doesn't matter what it is, that's up to you. You don't even need to use the stuff you capture. This is just an exercise to keep you sharp and keep you actively using your camera. I promise you, the simpler you make your creative process, the less friction you put between yourself and acting on your creativity, the easier it's gonna be to come up with those fresh, new, creative ideas. Tip number 2 is write it down. Write it down, folks. I can't stress this enough. I've found that keeping a journal has been one of the most valuable things for my creativity. Normally, I'm not even writing about anything to do with filming or photography or generating ideas. Oftentimes, it's just nonsense. It's just talking about whatever, my day. It's talking about Finn. It's talking about anything. It's really just an exercise for me to be able to put pen to paper, get what's in my head out. Also, this is a huge help when you have a good idea and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna do something right now. And maybe whatever your schedule is, you're not able to act on it right this second, and then poof, your idea's gone because you waited too long. Just write it down. Again, I know some of these sound silly because they're so simple, but that's the name of the game, guys. We are keeping things simple to streamline your creative process. Tip number 3 is stay organized. Whether it's storyboarding, script writing, or making a shot list, any part of your process really, I highly recommend keeping things organized in one place. Whether that's notes on your phone, on paper, or in a program, being able to visually organize your work in one contained space is so crucial to not only making a good product in the end, but also making sure you're not missing something and then have to go back later to recapture it. It's gonna save you time, it's gonna save you effort, it's gonna save you some sanity probably too. Tip number 4 is don't force it. There are times when I've been struggling with creative block where I thought the best thing I could do is to just power through it, to brute force my way into creating something. Yeah, I'll get the project done, but usually I'll be unhappy with the final result. Maybe there's no feeling to it, my heart's not in it, maybe it doesn't provide any value or emotions to the viewers, and an audience will be able to tell that. So instead of trying to force it, take a step back. Get your mind off it. I like to go do things that are completely unrelated to filmmaking and photography. Sometimes I like to go for a walk with my dog Finn, maybe read a book. Listening to music's a big one. It doesn't really matter what you do. The point is just to give your brain a break. Spending time doing other things that you love and enjoy can do wonders for your creativity. The goal with this is to come back to your project later with a fresh perspective and new ideas. Tip number 5 is be careful of self-doubt. I'll be the first one to say that I've made some bad stuff. I've taken bad photos. I've taken bad videos. You're supposed to. That's okay. That's how you're gonna learn. It's how you're gonna get better. So if you have an idea that maybe you've scrapped earlier, or you don't think it's your best work, make it anyway. Why not? What do you have to lose? There are so many times where I've been tentative to act on my ideas, but once I go through with it and actually create something, it can turn out pretty cool in the end. You never know what's gonna happen, so why not try? I promise you, it usually works out. That's all I have for you today, guys. Those are my tips and tricks to help overcome creative block. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope it helped you out a little bit. Let me know what you guys do to overcome creative block down in the comments. I'd love to hear it. If you guys enjoyed the video or it helped you out, go ahead and hit that like button. It really does help me out. And hit that bell notification so you know when I upload new videos. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.